They stripped her crown, not because she failed, but because they were afraid of what she became. In Arthur, fate was not guessed, it was witnessed. For when the daughters of Arthur came of age, they did not inherit thrones. They chose them, and in doing so, they bound the world. Queen Amaya bore 4 daughters in a single blessing: Aurea, Zarna, Rhea, and Arna. They were not raised as ornaments of royalty. They were raised as outcomes. Steel before silk, law before luxury, duty before desire. From childhood, one question followed them everywhere, not whispered with hope, but weighed like prophecy. Who would become Rohini? Rohini was not simply first among sisters. Rohini chose first. The one who received the golden blessing would choose the king of Silwar, the strongest kingdom in the realm. Second would choose Grakal, land of the fiercest warriors. Third would choose Matalia, kingdom of merchants and endless wealth. Last would choose Arnahan, the breadbasket of the world. And so the realm stayed balanced. Not because men were wise, but because tradition was older than their ambition. It was believed Rohini would be Zarna or Aurea. They were inseparable in training, unmatched in council lessons, deadly with blade and bow. But their hearts were different. Zarna was discipline sharpened into ambition, measured, strategic, controlled. Aurea was strength guided by compassion, firm, yet gentle. Her instinct always pulled toward the vulnerable. King Duva saw himself in Zarna. Queen Amaya saw herself in Aurea. Amaya never said it aloud, but she feared the same truth. Every mother fears that the world would punish the child most like her, for kindness survives poorly in courts of power. On their 18th birthday, the sacred rite began. The daughters were dressed in white, placed upon horses, and sent toward the Valley of Flowers. At the valley's heart stood the tangled tree, atop a solitary hill. When the sisters first saw it in the distance, it was heavy with leaves, alive, ancient, as if the valley itself breathed through it. They were to reach it before nightfall, because after dark, the valley belonged to ancient things. They rode in order, Zarna first, then Rhea, then Arna, Aurea last. The mountain wind cut through their cloaks. The road climbed, narrow and damp from melting snow. Hooves struck stone, and the sky began to dim. Then they found a child crying by the roadside, eyes red, but not only from tears. "I lost my doll," the girl sobbed. Zarna slowed her horse. Aurea watched her sister's face. Zarna's expression softened, practiced warmth, perfectly placed. Zarna dismounted and knelt. "We have to reach the valley before dark," she said gently. "But tomorrow we'll return." She brushed the child's hair back, like a queen rehearsing motherhood. "We'll find your doll, or bring you a better one." The child hesitated. Zarna smiled. "You have my word." The sisters began to move again, but Aurea's gaze stayed on the child. She did not see ordinary sorrow. She saw fear, the kind that sits behind the eyes when someone knows something they shouldn't. Aurea turned around. The horses snorted, uneasy. "Aurea," Zarna called, sharper now. "We don't have time." Aurea swallowed. A quiet thought rose in her mind. Unwelcome. If I leave her and something happens, I will hear her crying in every dream I ever have. I'll catch up, Aurea said. Zarna's jaw tightened. We'll wait at the edge, she said. Be there before dark. Aurea met her eyes. I love you, she said, not as apology, as promise. And she rode back. The child's name was Miral. Aurea stopped and stepped down, boots sinking into wet earth. Meryl, she said softly, where is your home? Ekan, Miral said, by the river. Strange place to play. Why are you up here alone? Aurea asked, firm yet kind. Meryl's lip trembled. I was looking for Girion. Aurea froze. Girion was a word from ancient texts, a flower whispered about only in the palace archives, then dismissed as myth. Who taught you that name? Aurea asked with caution. My grandmother, Miral said. She said she needs it today, and told me where to find it. The sun was already lowering. The valley awaited. The tangled tree awaited. And yet, Aurea's feet did not move. Her mind argued with itself. Go. You are needed. But her heart answered, simple and stubborn. So is the child. Show me, Aurea said. They climbed the mountain. Wind grew colder. Trees thickened. The waterfall's sound arrived before its sight. A calm, constant hush, like the mountain exhaling. Beneath a burning bush, Miral pointed. There. Aurea knelt and brushed leaves aside, and she found them. Girion flowers, purple petals streaked with gold. A scent, both haunting and pure, like rain over warm stone. Miral laughed, bright and relieved. I told you. Aurea almost smiled. Then the forest answered. A roar, not close, but coming. Branches snapping. Heavy footsteps. A mountain troll emerged. Towering, rock-skinned, hungry. Meryl, Aurea shouted. Run! Miral bolted across the stream, slipped, her head struck stone. The flowers drifted away. Aurea stepped between the child and the beast, drawing her sword. Her hands were steady, but her breath wasn't. The troll charged. The clash was brutal. Stone against steel. Aurea's arms jolted with every impact. Mud pulled at her boots. Rain began, sudden and cold. She fought not like a princess, but like a cornered animal, protecting its own. And with a final strike, the troll fell. The forest went quiet. Too quiet. She gathered fresh Girion blooms, lifted Miral, and rode hard for Ekan. Night fell with thunder. Rain turned the road to mist. The river swelled, black under stormlight. At last, a hut. A single lantern glow. Aurea helped Miral to the door. A frail old woman stepped out. Gray hair, ragged cloth, eyes too sharp for her age. My child, the woman cried, pulling Miral close. Then she looked at Aurea. And she looked as if she had been waiting. You are late, the woman said softly. The time has passed. Aurea's throat tightened. What do you mean? The old woman did not answer. Instead, she tore a thin strip from her own ragged cloth. Slowly, deliberately, she tied a Girion to it and lifted it toward Aurea's neck. Aurea hesitated. Her skin prickled, not with magic, but with instinct. She felt something settle into place, though she did not yet know what had been moved. "Never turn your back to the valley," the woman whispered. "Ride now, princess." Aurea's breath caught. "Princess?" The old woman's fingers tightened as she tied the cloth. "Not now," she said. And the words were not refusal. They were command. Aurea stepped back, rain dripping from her hair. "Who are you?" she demanded. The old woman's eyes did not blink. "Not now," she repeated. Aurea mounted and rode. The flower rested against her throat. Simple, ordinary. Yet it felt like a question tied to her skin. At the valley's edge, Zarna, Rhea, and Arna could wait no longer. Zarna stared into the endless field of flowers, stretching toward the hill. The tangled tree stood far away, full of leaves, waiting. Rhea's voice trembled. "What if Aurea—" "We go," Zarna cut in. "We have to." She hated how cold she sounded, but she hated the thought of failing more. They entered without her. They reached the hill and lay beneath the tangled tree. Leaves whispered overhead, brushing like soft rain. Sleep claimed them. Aurea arrived after dark. The Valley of Flowers no longer looked alive. Under starlight, color vanished. Petals became shadows. The wind whispered low across the ground. It wasn't loud, but watchful. She followed her sister's trail until it vanished. Now she was alone. Aurea's breath fogged in the cold. Her hand tightened on her sword. Movement stirred the grass. She stopped. It stopped. Two yellow eyes appeared, then another, then a heavier presence behind them. A massive beast stepped forward, black-furred, breath steaming in the cold air. Its shoulders rose and fell like a boulder breathing. Aurea's mind screamed, "Run!" She ran as hard as she could, but she tripped and fell hard. Stone bit into her palm. There would be no second chance, no tomorrow. So she stood. Not from bravery, from necessity, born by pride. The beast leaned closer, so close she felt its breath on her face. Its nose lowered slowly, past her lips, to her neck. It inhaled, deeply. The beast paused, its jaw tightened. Its ears shifted, not in aggression, but in recognition. Its gaze fixed on the simple flower resting against her skin. For a moment, nothing moved. Then the beast stepped back, once, twice, and vanished into the dark with its pack. Aurea dropped to her knees, shaking. She stared into the darkness where it had been. Why, she thought. Why did I survive? Then she saw it. Starlight catching mist on the distant hill. A shape, a silhouette, the tangled tree.